Hi, hello, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to chat about my mini Chanel flap and give you a little 1 month update of how I'm liking it so far, what I've noticed about the bag, do I regret buying the bag, all that fun stuff. And I know it's a little too early to really call it a true review, but I have gotten a lot of questions on Instagram and TikTok whether or not I still would recommend this bag and all my thoughts, so I thought I would share it in today's video. And honestly, any opportunity that I get to talk about my Chanel bags, I will take it. So grab a snack and let's just jump into the video. Here's the star of the show. She is so beautiful, and the very first thing I want to mention is that when I first took this bag out for the first time, I was truly so nervous and so scared because I've heard of how delicate lambskin is, but this bag has surprised me and it was so easy peasy to take out and about. I did baby it a little bit on the first day, but after that it was kind of like, oh, okay, I kind of know what I'm working with. It's not as delicate as like my Fendi Peekaboo, and that alone reaffirmed my purchase because I was so nervous that I was gonna regret getting lambskin. But I could happily say I've been using this bag a lot more and I'm not that scared to take it out. Obviously I need to know what I'm doing that day so I can plan accordingly, but for the most part, like going out to brunch, dinner, hanging out, walking around the mall, things like that, like even taking it out by the beach, like not on the sand, walking through the boardwalk and fun things like that, like this bag has held up really well so far. And I know it's only been a month, but it's still in pristine condition, which I would be very nervous if it wasn't. So far so good. Another popular question I get asked a lot is how is the quality of this bag, because on social media there's a lot of chatter about Chanel quality just diminishing and the quality not being as strong as it was a few years back, which I have noticed on certain bags in the boutique. But with that, I will say I did inspect the crap out of this bag when I purchased it. I think I mentioned that in my initial like unboxing video as well. I have seen bags in the boutique before where the flaps are uneven. So I'm not gonna sit here and be delulu and say like, no, Chanel's still amazing, it's perfect. No, it's definitely not perfect, but this bag is perfect because if it wasn't, I would not have dropped the money on it because it is a lot of money for a bag. So if you are planning on buying Chanel or just any luxury brand at that, just make sure you inspect the piece that you are purchasing because you want to make sure it's in fantastic, if not perfect condition, and you're not going to go home and have a ton of buyer's remorse, because I definitely do not have that with this bag. So things like checking the corners of the bag, checking for evenness, like I set this down, ooh, oh my gosh, almost dropped this. I set this down on a table, made sure everything was even, nothing was like lopsided. I checked the stitching, the interior, like the chain, every little detail, every part of the bag, making sure there's like no scratches, nothing odd, even down to the point where like the stitching lines up from like piece to piece. Like as you can see, the pocket here, it still completes this quilt, if that makes sense. You know, sometimes there will be bags that do not line up and that will bug a lot of people, and it's something that some can overlook. But for me, I literally checked every little detail, like even on this side of the pocket, like you still want to make sure that there are straight diagonal lines, it's making the diamonds, because at the end of the day, you're paying like $5 grand for a bag. So definitely want to make sure it's perfect. From my experience, the sales associates usually give me a lot of time to like look through these and like not pressure me at all. So I really appreciate that. And yeah, this bag is just perfection. When I first wore it out, it was very, you know, brand new. The leather is still stiff. It hasn't really softened just yet, and it probably won't for probably another like couple years, I want to say. And another thing I've noticed is that this bag is definitely very structured. It is a square, and after opening and closing this flap a few times, I could tell that the leather is slowly starting to soften up, which I really like actually. I thought it would be something that would irk me, but I actually love that this bag will soften a little bit over time and kind of just have more of like that lived in look. I just don't want the bag to feel so stiff all the time, you know what I mean? Like even with a Birkin, it softens over time, like the leather will soften and just kind of feel like more buttery, lived in, you know. And as far as the interior, I do not have any inserts in this bag because I do feel like if I have an insert, it's already gonna take up so much precious cargo space that I already have. So personally, I'm not going to be using a bag insert, but it still holds everything that I've shown you before. And I know that I'm not going to be carrying a lot with me when I use this bag, but that's okay because that's what my husband's for. He carries all the keys, all the other necessities that we need, and I just carry my little girly pop things. So with that being said, I will show you what I typically carry in this bag. First up is my iPhone 14 Pro. Just slips right in, right there, very sleek. I'm using the slim card holder just because we're saving space, we want to be efficient, and also I've been using a ton of Apple Pay, so technically this is just like for the vibes and to hold my ID. And then I have my Japanese mints, which come in this ultra sleek packaging. It's insane. Like, I recommend trying this if you haven't already. They're so powerful, but they're so great to have. And then last but not least is some kind of a lippy. Right now I'm using the It Cosmetics Confidence in a Serum Gloss. Highly recommend it. It's very similar to my Hermes lip gloss, like shade wise, and it just feels really light and moisturizing on the skin, not too sticky at all. So this one is the shade Self-Worth. So love that. But yeah, that is everything that I carry in this bag. And with my phone being in here, it does give it a good amount of weight, but if I hold my phone, then it's not heavy at all. And typically I'll use my chain shortener, so I will just wear this as a shoulder bag. Like, that's been my favorite way to wear this bag. A lot of times, even with all this stuff in here, like when I have my chain shortened, only a little section of it is like hanging out on the inside, and it doesn't damage the inside of the bag at all. Like, usually it sits like inside like this with some chains held together by the chain link. It's not annoying when I need to access my bag, but I absolutely love this piece. I have no regrets purchasing it. And sometimes I also think about letting go of my medium Chanel flap because I don't even reach for that bag as much anymore, but it definitely is nice having that larger size as well. Let me know if you want me to do like a little Chanel comparison video, although they're completely two different sizes. But let me know, maybe that's something you're interested in. The last thing I want to quickly address is the hardware color, because it is not a traditional yellow gold. It's more of a champagne gold is what my sales associate called it. But I'm wearing some silver jewelry, and you know, side by side you could probably tell that this is more gold, but like, it makes it so easy for me to mix metals because my necklace is gold. But this is definitely a preference thing. Some people like the yellow gold because it looks more elegant or more mature, but I personally like this because it is a great in-between and it allows me to layer all my jewelry, and I feel like it just doesn't clash as crazy as if it was like yellow gold and like white gold, for example. But that's all I have for today's video. I hope I answered some questions that maybe you were thinking of. But if you want to see more of me on my day-to-day life, be sure to follow me on Instagram or TikTok, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!